The Diecast International Builders are hosting a tribute build to Scott Opa Koster, who truly was such a wonderful member of this community. He was the undisputed King of Tootsietoys. The casting I chose for this build is this old Tootsietoy Jaguar. It's obviously beat to heck, and I want to make this look like the Jaguar D-Type that was a winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1957. I have that pictured at the top of the screen there. I'm hoping to get this to that state, or this isn't going to be an exact replica of that, but kind of, sort of. I grind off the ends of the axles using a small little Dremel tool I have handy here on the bench. And even though I ground off the ends, it was still tough getting these tires off. I wasn't too concerned about the condition of these tires. I didn't want to just cut them off, just on the odd chance I'd use them again for something in the future. But I am doing a wheel swap on this. You can see that thing's in rough shape. Used the Dremel tool with the buffing wheel and got it pretty clean. I did throw it in the paint stripper first, and then, even though there was very little paint on it, got it buffed up pretty well. And then I went looking for wheels for this. And I didn't have any real riders that I liked for it, and anything else around just didn't seem right. But I remembered these wheels. They're on some of the Matchbox castings. So I dug out this one, and I thought those wheels, I like the look of them. I thought they would look good on this Jag. So, I drilled apart that casting and ended up popping these wheels off. Oddly enough, later I looked through my box of discarded wheels and I found another set just like it. But these came off this 1971 MGB GT Coupe. And I remembered that this one had them on it, so that's kind of why I went to it first. Cut those off the axles. Stupidly cutting the axles in the middle. I was thinking I was going to do something different with the axle tubes and just push them in from both sides rather than doing the bead approach that I've used a lot recently. I did end up using the bead approach again. But as much as I like these wheels, and they aren't rubber tires, they're solid plastic, but they were just too thick. They were too fat. They also had the little nub on the back of them. That didn't help. As you can see here, they're just not going to fit. The ones on the front they wouldn't have looked right, but the back ones need to fit under the bodywork, and it's not like you can grind a lot off these bodies, these Tootsietoys, if you wanted to. So I made the choice to thin the wheels down. And I mean, we're doing a 1957 Jag. It's not like they had really fat tires back then. So I sand the heck out of these wheels and really thin them down. Not only taking the nub off, but also really narrowing the tire itself, the wheel and tire itself. And so worked at that for a while, and you can see the difference here in the width. I did end up taking quite a bit off. Still looks reasonably good. I put axle tubes on it. I wanted this thing to be level. I didn't want it to have a rake to it. But I put axle tubes on it with that thought in mind. There you see them on it already. I have them held in place, just tacked on with CA glue once I had the look that I wanted. And then naturally I'm going to go over that with JB Weld because, well, Opa wouldn't expect any less from me. So, when I think about Opa, it's funny. I always would laugh when he'd talk about the axles, how he would do the axles, and he'd hit them with some Earl. And God bless him. He's just a wonderful man. And it was a joy watching his videos. And, we miss you, Opa. We really miss you. But got those axle tubes in place with the JB weld. And here, I've mixed it up kind of thin. I'm really trying to finesse this in place. If you want, you can be really sloppy with JB weld, and then you have a lot of cleanup to do, or it just looks like a blob of crap. And I've learned if I take a little more time, just finesse it where I want it exactly, and just be patient, you get the results you want right out of the gate. I'm being careful not to hit the ends of the axle tubes with the JB weld. But again, that's easy enough to do if you're just taking your time and careful about the application. So there you see it once the axle tubes are on, and with the JB weld covering it. I did put a strand of JB weld on the inside, as I'm showing there, across the axle tube as well, again, just to give it a little more strength. It's not visible from the front or back. You'd have to flip it over to see that additional JB weld. And then it got to the point where I need to file the roughness out of this. And this is really highly accelerated here. As I recall, this is 5 times real speed. And took a lot of the roughness out of it, as much as I could. The casting wasn't in bad shape. There were just some areas that were, well, a Tootsie Toy. So once I had that the way I wanted it, I dipped it in IPA to clean it off. I used a paper towel with IPA on it because of the JB weld. Then it was time to paint it. I used the Citadel Lead Belcher for the base coat, the primer. For the color, I went with that. Chevy Nassau Blue Metallic. Looks great on Corvettes. That is the Tester's Model Master lacquer that I used. Put down the Color Shot gloss before I put the decals on. And I went with very simple decals. Again, thinking back to that 1957 Jag. And one of the things that I liked about that, one of the reasons I chose this livery, was I liked the way they put the numbers on the car. And, the front and the back, the hood and the trunk areas were, normal. The left side door, the number was centered on that. The right side door did not have the decal on it. You notice I'm not saying driver's side or passenger side, because in the US, the driver's side would be the left-hand side. But even in this case, the driver's side would be the right-hand side, as you see there. Because that's where the seat is, and there isn't another seat. But on that side, the number goes on the tail fin. It's not on both sides of the tail fin, which I think logic would make you think that would have been the way it would have been done. But it wasn't, and I like that. I like that oddness to it. And that's what I ended up recreating with this. Once the decals are on, and you'll see here in a second that there's only 4 decals I'm putting on this. I didn't try and do anything like the headlights, a different color, decals for the headlights. I didn't try and do any of the other small insignias on that 57 Jag. But here you see it. I've got the wheels on it now. I did that off camera because that was an adventure. Rolls great. I should have rolled it just without the cloth there. But even with the cloth, it rolls well. Then went over that with the gloss clear to make sure it was glossy over the decals as well. As you can kind of see on the front of the car there. You can see the shininess over that front 6 decal. Or excuse me, on the right-hand side, that's actually the back of the car. I'm so confused. I did paint the interior seat area and floorboard area and the front grille flat black. And so here we see where we started. That poor little beat to hell Tootsie Toy. And this is the kind of thing Opa would have taken and just done amazing things with. And you need to go check out his videos and just see the amazing things he could do with these little cars. Here's how mine ended up. And I'm pretty darn happy with it. There you see the number on the fin on this side. I love those wheels on this car. I'm really happy with that choice that I made, because I think they really fit this car. It's the right look for this car. And here you see on this side, the number is on the door. But anyhow, there's the build. There's some glamour shots coming up. Please check out all of the other builds in this event. And the DIBs will have a recap on, I think it's on Somo Diecast channel, as I recall. But check out all of the builds in this. And thanks to the Diecast International Builders for paying this tribute to Opa. And we do miss you, Opa. Would have loved to see what you would have built for this event. Anyhow, everybody, stay safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.